be sparking and rushing, man, like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime only fans, this is the time of the month where a lot of this content that we talk about here on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. However, if you're still here, I'm assuming you guys are all caught up with the manga and you do not care about me talking about spoilers. So with that being said, jumping right into the topic, I want to talk to you guys about this upcoming battle of Boruto and Kawaki versus Code, and I want to focus in on something very particular. I've seen a few people talk about the fact that because of the power gap between Code and Boruto, that Boruto is going to need his BoruShiki's transformation in order to bring down the character of Code, especially if Code uses the Karma Seal and gets that power amp. And I want to go ahead and address this right now because I think that while that would be something really cool to see, the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is unless you're in a situation where Amado's byakugan pills that Boruto's been taking for the past 17 days, which we do know to be the case since Boruto says in Boruto chapter 60 that it's been 7 days since he began taking those byakugan pills, and then in chapter 61 we find out that it's been 10 days since Shikamaru was told about those straps that are around the 5 great nations in terms of all the ninja villages. So Boruto, regardless, has been taking those pills long enough for them to have some effect on his body. Unless you believe that those byakugan suppressant drugs were not working and Amado had some other motive behind giving those pills to Boruto, I don't think that Boruto's going to manifest BoruShiki's. If Boruto manifests BoruShiki's, that kind of defeats the purpose of introducing those byakugan drugs. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I am going to say I don't think it's highly likely. And just from a power perspective, let's just assume that Boruto does go into that BoruShiki's transformation. If Code and his base and Boro were considered to be somewhat relative to one another, and we assume that Code is suppressed and he's not trying to fight Boruto seriously, much in the same way that Boro was toying around with the members of Team 7, that ultimately is what cost him. Given how easily BoruShiki's destroyed Boro, you could make the argument that Boruto should be able to take down a suppressed Code if he goes into BoruShiki's, and if Code uses his Karma Seal, that opens up the possibility for BoruShiki's to have to fight a little bit more seriously, but still end up taking down Code very easily. I don't think that's what's going to happen. What I do think is the more than likely thing is that we're going to see how potent those drugs are, where Boruto's going to use his Karma Seal and he's going to be able to use that power. And he might get to a point to where you might see a sneak of Momoshiki. You might see that byakugan pop up for a second, but those drugs end up doing its job. I think that that's it. A really great example of what I think that you're in for in terms of the possibility is just as with Naruto, how when Naruto was losing control of the Nine Tails, over time you just saw how Naruto's control was just slipping and slipping as things went on. Like when he first used the power of the Nine Tails, you had a small cubic chakra cloak, and then by the time he was fighting against Sasuke, he sprouted a whole one tail. I think that you're going to be in a similar situation here. I think that as time goes on and as those drugs get more and more potent, the influence of Momoshiki is not going to be as strong. I think that that is something that could be the case right there, to where you might see that byakugan that Momoshiki has for a brief few seconds, maybe even for a short taijutsu sequence, and then Boruto's going to be able to regain control. I think that that's the route that that's going right there. Now, again, I do feel like Boruto needs that power in order to take down Karma Seal Code, but this has a really great opportunity to kind of continue to set the stage, because now we're going to be in a situation where Boruto's going to realize he needs that power, and he's going to need to find a way to be able to harness Momoshiki's power without actually giving himself over to Momoshiki. And I think that that's a great way to begin that segue into your time skip whenever that takes place, because we have to look at it from another perspective as well. If Boruto goes into his BoruShiki's transformation, Momoshiki has no reason to want to dust off Code. Instead, Momoshiki's more than likely going to take Kawaki and get the hell out of there. That's something that makes the most sense because Momoshiki wants to feed Kawaki to the Ten Tails in order to produce a chakra fruit. He said as much when he was stabbing out Sasuke's eye and talking all that trash. So I think that that's the other reason why you won't have something like that happen unless Naruto and the rest of them are able to show up after a fact and they're able to take down BoruShiki's and reverse that transformation. I think that that's your likely course of action right there. I think that's just a little bit too much going on for where we're at in terms of storytelling. Now, I do think that this would be something from a conflict perspective if BoruShiki does come out and we get a battle with Code and BoruShiki. The reason why this works from a conflict perspective is Kawaki would be in a situation where he's watching a battle take place and unfold where he's a spectator. He can't realistically jump in because it's a level of power that he can't compete at. That's the whole reason, in my opinion, why you had Kawaki just getting beat down by Code. This kind of starts the process of Kawaki slowly realizing that he needs the Karma Seal and slowly realizing that if he's going to protect Naruto, by extension, he's going to have to try and protect Boruto as well. And if Boruto has a level of power like that, the only way that Kawaki can even hope to fight against Boruto when he's in that Otsutsuki transformation is if Kawaki is able to tap into Ishiki's power that is like dormant inside of him, which is what he would need Amado's scientific ninja weapon tech Karma Seal that Kawaki is going to get implanted on him by Amado. I think that that's it, because Amado did say that he can re-engineer the Karma Seal on Kawaki by using science, and it would not come at the expense of Ishiki being able to resurrect himself. So I think that's ultimately what this battle is going to be used for the character Kawaki. However, I will say that this could be also an opportunity where if Boruto goes into that BoruShiki transformation, you open up the possibility of Code being the one that gives Boruto a scar. Every time Boruto puts on Sasuke's headband, it's kind of like a countdown. People are wondering, is this the moment when he gets a scar? And I think that that is something maybe you could kind of say that works, but the question that I have on that is if this is that moment where Boruto gets that scar and it's because of the BoruShiki thing, how does that impact the character Boruto? And why would Code want to specifically gouge out Boruto's eye? That's the one question I have right there. There has to be a cause and effect. There has to be a reason behind this, and I don't think that narratively we've gotten enough here. Now obviously there could be a huge plot twist. Maybe that's where you see the Jogan. I'm not too sure that that's going to be the case, but I do want to hear from you guys. I do want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Boruto needs the BoruShiki transformation in order to stand a chance against Code? Do you think that having BoruShiki pop up is something that's just a little bit too much in terms of the narrative for the story? And do you agree with me that that's really just a dangerous route to go with, because BoruShiki could just take Kawaki and try and take him to the Ten Tails? I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.